check black first cause it's brilliant. People talk too much, say less. Remain on code, follow the spirit. When the going gets tough, it's time for resilience, say less. A fight inherited, no turning back, we're on our way. Tune into Eve at the end of your day.
What's going on, everybody? Happy Friday. Yes, today is Friday. Friday, April 18th. Good Friday, if you will, I think. Um, y'all are better with them holidays than I am, but happy Friday to you. I know, a little late, but as always, we are still going to make it do what it do. I wanted to give you a moment to uh, take in my thumbnail tonight because it's going to be a tough conversation. Um, Homegrown Tethers. What does that mean? What's up, Spirit Wonder? Happy Friday night. It's a little earlier on that side of the country than it is over here, but I'm not going to keep you too long. You'll still be able to go out and shake your groove thing if you wanted to. I don't know if that's what you do, go to the club or party like a rock star. But I'm in the house. It's been a busy day, spending time with family, and it's in these outings that I find I have a deeper appreciation for my position here in this country. When you go out and you see all of the people, it's amazing. You can kind of see the differences amongst people. You can see the different families. You can see the different power dynamics. It's very interesting if you're a people watcher like I can be. Um, and then I guess sometimes people love watching me too, right? That's y'all's favorite song right now, right? Doichi's Anxiety. Somebody's watching her. I don't know. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, tonight, unseen threats. There are a couple stories that I wanted to talk about. Not that people have not talked about these stories before. So if you are thinking that I was going to do I did it first, I am the authority. No, I'm not going to do that. But I do want to have a conversation, and I don't think we're having enough because people see words and then they get all spooked out by, well, where'd that word come from, and who uses that word, and well, why are you using that word? I mean, really, we're naming ourselves in a time where you can be born with a penis and call yourself Betsy. People are having an issue with Black people naming themselves. I mean, it's not like we all came together like butt cheeks and agreed that we were going to be African American. I mean, 2025, we're letting everybody know that our family has not been to Africa. And while it is a beautiful place and a place that needs redemption and freedom and justice and all sorts of things, that's gonna have to be a problem for another day. We got problems here, and I think we're past the giving the shirt off of our backs when we don't have one to replace it. Not that we still aren't going to help. Not that we're not going to try to find a way if we don't have a shirt to replace the shirt we want to give out. But, well, we're kind of past some things, and some things we're not past. This is one of them.
Shootings at two different scenes. The manhunt for the suspected shooter ended in South Carolina.
Yeah, all of this started inside a Walmart on Salem Road in Covington. It then continued at a home about 2 miles away. And Good Day's Mark Teichner is live for us in Newton County. And Mark, this all happened as workers were just stocking the shelves, doing their jobs.
and they were all workers who were involved in all of this. I'm going to step out. We are at the second location, that home, where a female, a Walmart employee who's been identified by family friends as being a 22-year-old, and those family friends telling us the girlfriend of the alleged shooter was shot and killed. But it actually started at the Walmart on Salem Road, about 2 miles from our particular location, about 1:30 in the morning. That's where, according to sheriff investigators, a male employee who was working during the overnight hours, the store was closed at the time, went out of the store, got a gun from his car, went back into the store and shot and killed a male coworker. He then, allegedly, as he was leaving, shot another male coworker, critically injuring him before he came to the location where we are right now and shot and killed this 22-year-old female co-worker as well. Now, all of these folks, again, were acquaintances, according to the sheriff's investigators. They knew each other, but after the shooting took place, the gunman then apparently fled out of state, according to investigators, and he was captured in South Carolina, in Aiken, South Carolina. And as you can imagine, the folks from the Newton County Sheriff's Office are extremely appreciative of the effort that it was to bring this man to justice.
We appreciate the help from Georgia State Patrol, South Carolina State Patrol, the Covington Police Department, and we had South Carolina State Patrol and Sheriff's Office from South Carolina.
Yeah, the Walmart, though, remains closed at this point. Told it might open up later on in the day, but that is the latest from the scene here in Newton County. Back to you guys in the studio.
All right, the latest in Newton County, right? Full stop. And I guess a disclosure moment. That's not the news reel I wanted to show you. But can you imagine? There's actually so many shootings that happen at Walmart that you can just stumble on to, I don't know, just a multitude of crime at Walmart. There was one that I wanted to show you specifically because he which one did I just show you? Georgia, get your life together, man. It's too much going on in Georgia. All right. Dwayne Udah, Eduh, a 24-year-old Walmart employee, shot Khalaf Barksdale, Akila Clark, and Covington, Ryan Bradley. Wait, I'm sorry. Is this the same one? Okie dokie, here we go. It's the same one. When you read shot yourself, you don't necessarily expect the person to survive that type of wound, but he did. He survived. That's why I was thinking it wasn't the same one. Okay, so what I showed you was what I wanted to show you. I just got confuddled. That happens. Just excuse my second guessing of me and, the people that support me over here, because we be doing a lot. It's a lot going on. Anyway, Dwayne Udah. I don't know if you say it like that. Eduh. And you could see the news guy wasn't saying his name either, probably because Eduh is a little hard to say. I don't know if that means that person is a foreigner or not, but I think if you wanted to be a stereotypical American, you could say that that's a last name that you might not have ever seen before, right? Tonight, trivia night. Here's the rules. There's 5 questions, and you can play by yourself or you can play with the team. It's cool. I see you doing a little teamwork, making the dream work in the chat all the way free. Spirit Wonder, I appreciate y'all. What's going on? Chemistry, Black Magic. Look, y'all can play by yourselves. You can play together. It's all good. The person who wins, or the person who gets the most right, wins the game. That's how the game goes, okay? Are you ready? Here we go. Question number 1. What crime do you think this man was convicted of? Was it diddling children? Was it diddling women? Or was it diddling men? This man on your screen, what crime do you think that he was convicted of? Now, don't you all answer at once now, but I do give a guess if you have a guess. If you don't have a guess, that's okay. I'm not gonna fault you. Maybe he doesn't look like a man who did any crime, right? And that could absolutely happen. So if that's how you feel, then I guess you could say that. Did we make our guesses? I should have had some sort of timer music going on. Children, okay, yeah. Initially, I also pegged him as a person who was trying to peg children, but I was wrong. The man on your screen, Hani Hussein Sanauer, 64 years old, was found guilty on Wednesday to a lesser offense of attempted sexual assault. It's a third-degree felony with a range of punishment, but not to exceed 10 years in prison. Now, he had been out on bond since 2021. The judge revoked his bond after the verdict or whatever, so he was kind of given the soft treatment a little bit, and then it kind of tried to strong arm him a little bit more. And then I guess because of his age or something, they're saying that he needs to get that lesser charge. He doesn't need to be in jail for the rest of his life, but the rest of his life could be, the next 10 years, something like that. Here's my thing. The person that he assaulted was at the time 17, and it's not just the one person who kind of comes out about it, because 17, we are in a time where grown adults wanting to identify as children, and then children can't identify as children. It's a very strange time. So 17-year-old, to me, I know that it's still a child. So if you said diddling children, maybe you might be right. But that's not the crime that he was convicted of. It was of sexual assault. And when I was reading this story, it was very strange because I guess the 17-year-old asked him to get her some cigarettes or some cigars, and then he does, right? But then, come on, ladies, women, girls, you can't think that somebody who is not your friend, family, or anybody that you know is going to be just doing things for you just because you ask for it, unless you want other things done to you or can expect, or maybe, I hate to tell you to think like that, but people aren't nice. So anyway, when he gets to the parking lot to go get her cigars or whatever, he makes her do things to him or whatever. Check this out. She wasn't gonna say anything, but then she orders another lift, and it's him, and she has a panic attack breakdown, and that's when she tells. Do you like the game chemistry? I appreciate that. Let's see if you can get the next one. What crime was this man convicted of? Was it kidnapping? Was it sexual assault? You think he's a person who's stealing things? Oh, sugar. I really wish I had some Jeopardy music. Let's see. Yoshi. Where you at, Yoshi? Let's see if we can get some background music.
Terror Squad belongs to Fat
All right.
Dirty Joe.
What crime do you think this man was convicted of? He kidnapped somebody. Sexual assault. You think he's stealing stuff? Sexual assault, you think that? Okay. 2 more seconds. And yeah, it's just because I got one screen. Gotta go between many different screens. Let me tell you about the man on your screen. His name, Pastor Mendoza of Denver. Let me tell you what Pastor Mendoza did. He wasn't even a rideshare driver. He has 30 charges related to kidnapping, sexual assault, and attempted sexual assault of 12 different women all around Denver. From 2018 2022, John Pastor Mendoza, who is 43 now, pretended to be a rideshare driver. And then he'd pick up women in this souped up app and then sexually assault them in a car or at another location. 12 of the people that he did this to, he was able to get a conviction of kidnapping them as well. I guess he went to a location that wasn't where he was supposed to go, but damn, he wasn't even a Lyft driver or an Uber driver. He was acting like one. This is where we are. 2025, we are in a time where, people are so desperate to get assistance. Any assistance. This person looks like they're here to help me out. I ordered a ride. And I think about taxis all the time and how I used to hate taxis. Like the fact that they cost a lot of money. It took a long time for them to get there. And just if only we could figure out something. And then Uber and Lyft. And it's like, oh shit, that's exactly what I was thinking. Like, not that it was my thought. I wasn't saying that. But did y'all ever have that thought? Like, we could do something about these wait times, and if we're all going to one place, maybe we ride together, we carpool, things like that. We could be a little green, right? But then, damn, we are very green, ignorant of our surroundings because people are watching us. Told y'all's favorite song is that Doichi song, and as much as I hate to say that the music is programming, I say it all the time. Music is programming, TV is programming, and the things that we listen to, they seep into our subconscious. So, somebody's watching you, they are, and you should be very cognizant of that aspect of life, because if you're supposed to be here, then maybe you just live in life laissez-faire, you've got no cares because you're where you're supposed to be. If you're not supposed to be here, maybe you are paying attention to your surroundings even more because Tom Holman said he's coming. But what about the people who are not in those general groups of people just living their life, trying to stay out of trouble, trying to stay off of the there are other people out here, y'all. So if you look like a person looking for your ride, then maybe somebody comes up and says, hey, I'm your ride. And as much as we learned about stranger danger, well, Pastor Mendoza gets to fake like a rideshare driver for 4 years. Here's another one. What crime do you think this man was convicted of? Diddling himself. Diddling children? Grand Theft Auto? I know, all the way free. That other one, Pastor Mendoza, he hit the trifecta. It was like the Jesus, Holy Spirit, and God trifecta, right? But of people doing really bad things to people who didn't deserve it. I mean, you're waiting for your ride. Somebody shows up and says, hey, I'm your ride. And we are so out of touch with what's going on around us that maybe you didn't even check to see if this was the ride that was supposed to show up. So the fact that Pastor Mendoza had a souped up app, he's playing outside the rules now. It's not what I just said, is it? He's masking, like he's going out of his way. He's one of those don't y'all hate those cops that have a car that looked just like everybody else's car, and then whoop whoop whoop, next thing you know you're getting pulled over because you changed lanes, you didn't turn on that turn signal, and you didn't know the car beside you was a cop, because if you knew that was a cop, then you would have put on your turn signal, you wouldn't have been getting pulled over. And well, Chemistry said himself, you want to say children, I feel you. Optimism is not going to help you with this game. I'm so sorry if that's how you look at things, because tonight this we're talking about unseen threats, and for what it's worth, there are people who watch me, will watch this show, will watch a show that I have in the future, and so far the men on the screen might not look like a threat to them. I'm gonna let you know right now that all three of those men look like threats to me. But I think that it is my rearing, my surroundings, the people that I'm influenced by, and have the ability to influence, that I even pay attention to certain things, right? So look, before I tell you what this man was convicted of, I have to tell you something else, okay? All right, I don't know if it's funny, but I was tickled when I read this. Okay, not this. This was about Pastor Mendoza. Let me get to. Oh, sugar. Okay. Let me show you what I found. The man on your screen, his name is Martin Njoki, Njoki, right? But when I was looking for pictures of these men that I found in the articles, some of them didn't have pictures. And y'all know what that means. That's what they do all the time. First, to let a rhyme flow, he does not look like FBA. You sound crazy. Unless you mean full-blooded African, then I would absolutely agree with you. But this man right here, Martin Njoki. Whoa, wait a minute. Go back. Martin Njoki. Right. I was looking for information about him because pictures and stuff. This is a picture I found, right? This is not a picture I found on any article. So if I'm gonna claim anything tonight, I guess we can claim that. Here. No, not that one. This one. Martin Njoki. I found this picture on this Facebook, but before I found this picture, I found this profile, right? And I hope you guys can see my screen because tickled. I was tickled. It says, if you can't read it, it's essential to acknowledge that multiple individuals may share the same first and last name. My names are Martin, Umuni, and Joki, which may cause confusion and concern to many. I am well, and I am not the one involved. Thank you. And I'm like, shout out to you, dude, because you're right. People do share names sometimes, right? That's a real thing. Now, how many people are named Martin Njoki in America? I don't know. Y'all gonna have to tell me. That's gonna have to be a trivia, an outside trivia, because I have no freaking clue. But let's get back to the actual Martin Njoki that we're talking about tonight. And again, this is a picture I found of this man. So if it ends up not being him, dude, I'm sorry. I'm gonna tell you why I chose you from this article. Your Facebook says works at driver. I don't know what the fuck that means, but okay. It also says you went to Kihara High School. And while it says 2024 and you look like you are 38 years old, I'll give it to you. You went to Kihara High School. Okay, fine. You cool with that? Fine. All right. Now let's get back to. No, don't go fast. This. What crime was this man convicted of? I will tell you. I know you've been waiting. You're so patient. Martin Njoki. Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Got it. In Washington, this came out yesterday. Martin Njoki allegedly asked a 16-year-old girl if she would kiss and tell before making unwanted sexual advances. He is behind bars right now because the accusations are pretty extreme. A 16-year-old came forward and said that this man was being inappropriate to her. Her boyfriend ordered the lift, and well, it all kind of went downhill from there. Now, why did I choose that Martin Njoki? Because remember, the first Martin Njoki that I came across, it said, "Look, there's a bunch of us out here named that, and that ain't me." So I had to go back to the drawing board. This Martin Njoki is a Lyft driver, right? Or at least it says works at driver. Okay. In the article, it says that Mr. Njoki, well, his Lyft account was suspended due to these allegations. And he is in the U.S. on a work visa, has a pregnant wife and 5 children back home in Kenya. Kenya. Where did it say he went to high school? Kihara. I looked it up. Kihara High School. Do you want to take a guess on how many Kihara high schools there are in the world? I mean, I don't know. I have no clue. Y'all are going to have to tell me. Again, these are kind of outside trivia questions because I didn't think that we would have so much conversation. So thank y'all. But Kihara High School is in Kenya. So this man who by name was named in the article as a Kenyan, this man on Facebook who identifies as driver who went to a high school in Kenya. Okay, that's my math. If my math is wrong, you're gonna have to let me know. First to let a rhyme flow, you're just a hater, and I already knew that, but I do appreciate that you watch because I hope that one day you get it, especially if you're over here in America. So, anyway, the crime he was convicted of, it was, I guess he's not quite convicted yet. He is in jail for the accusations of being inappropriate with a 16-year-old that he asked to sit up front because there was stuff in the back and all that stuff. So, moving right along. What do these men have in common? Is it their work history? Is it their citizenship status? Is it their location? Which is it? I don't know what y'all are talking about with chimpanzees in the chat. Shake my head. Let's just go through the chat real quick. Many Africans don't know their birthdays. That's very true. Do you know why they don't know their birthdays? It's because their countries are brand spanking new. I watched a video the other day. Man, talk about white supremacy. And it's not for the reason you think. Okay, what do these men have in common? Well, I'm going to have to say it's their work history. Work history, because their citizenship status, while they all had names, some names on them, right? John, Pastor Mendoza, Haney, Hussein, Yuta, all I don't know. Martin Njoki, that dude actually did it straight up said it in his article that he's here on a work visa. So but then location. I don't know if I told you the location of all of those places. They were not all in the same state, but they were all here in America. So being in America, working for a rideshare or acting like you work for a rideshare app, and then maybe that citizenship thing. That one's kind of up in the air. Some people, it's so funny to me because there's a lot of people out here in the world right now in 2025. I'm talking to you first to let a rhyme flow. There's a lot of people who think that when we're talking about illegals, that we're only talking about a specific type of illegal. I'm talking about all of them. All of them. Every single last one of them. Black, white, yellow, purple, one titty to the left. It really don't matter. Midget, one leg. I don't care. If you're here and you didn't do what you were supposed to do to be here, then you really shouldn't be here. And the fact that our president is allowing you to self-deport is pretty freaking decent. It means that you accept the responsibility of your actions and that you're going to try to do it better next time, because there can be a next time. But if you get deported, at least while President Trump is president and things are the way that they are right now, you're not coming back. At least you won't be allowed to come back. And I know this is going to have to probably be another conversation on a different day because people are already breaking the rules. They're already not following the law. So what does it matter if you're not allowed to come back if you're not supposed to be here anyway, right? Two wings, same bird. Two wings, same bird. You cannot expect one of these parties to do something that's going to jeopardize the other one because it would be a self-destruct. You're never going to see a bird with a wing trying to fly in opposite direction of the other wing. And if you have, then prove it to me. I'll send you $5 on your Cash App. And the way AI is, I'm going to just call Cap right now because there's no animals out there that's bipolar like that. Where are you going to volunteer to go back? To go back where? First, to let a rhyme flow. I'd be so confused about you, right? Because you so loud in my chat. And then you'd be so wrong. And then I'd be like, oh. Because I don't know if you're using the female avatar because you don't want people to know that you're a dude or what. But it is a little strange. And I am already back in my ancestral home. I mean, and actually specifically on accident. I mean, I wasn't born here in the state that I reside in, but you want to go back on paper through the censuses? What about before the censuses? Can you do that on the land that you're on? Go back 200 years and find your family in the same spot? Because I'm going to call cap on that. If you're on the motherland, you're not in the same spot. You're not called the same thing. And a lot of y'all are very confused. And then if you're not on the motherland and you're somewhere else across the world, you're equally confused. Because again, why aren't you at home? Why don't you volunteer to go back? Where's all that work ethic? Working hard I don't know. How about you put them brains to work right now? Tell me. I didn't give you any choices this time. For question number 5, what crime was this man convicted of? All the way free. You just made me think of a great song while we think about what crime this man was convicted of.
I'm calling eyes. I'm calling eyes on you. 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 Stop and listen. I hear carnival music in my district. Loud and annoying. The thumping just keep coming. I'm calling eyes on you. I'm calling eyes.
I'm sorry, it's such a bop. Okay, so I'm gonna let y'all know that you're not going to know what this man was convicted of. There's zero way. There's zero way that you're gonna guess it. But if you did guess it, I look, that $5 Cash App, I got you. If you guess this specific thing, let me tell you all about him. A man who raped a woman after saving her from another sexual assault pleaded guilty to the brutal attack after it was caught live on a webcam. The man, Kerry Calvin Gassig, was sentenced to 10 years after pleading guilty to sexually violating a 34-year-old woman at a tourist hotspot in Florida. The victim had initially thought Gassig, an Uber driver, was rescuing her from a separate sexual attack in the early hours of September 10, 2021. But once she was in his car, Gassig proceeds to ask her for sex, eventually prompting her to jump out of the vehicle in a panic. Check this out. He follows her and then rapes her at some famous southernmost point buoy in Key West. So he wanted to make some memories. Now, here's how he got caught almost, because it took a little while for them to actually get him, but the entire incident was caught on a tourist hotspot live webcam, which at the time was being viewed by an emergency services dispatcher in Boston, who immediately contacted local police. It says, and I quote, "I'm actually calling from Boston," he said. Quote, "But bear with me, this is going to sound crazy, but I'm at work and I have the, southernmost point cam." Quote, "I could almost swear that I saw somebody get raped," end quote. The article shows footage, a screenshot of the live webcam that has Gassig with the woman he has her in a headlock. The dude has the entire incident, her resisting, her trying to get away, him overpowering her, shoving her behind the landmark, and, doing those things to her. And then he comes from behind the landmark, zips his pants up. It said that police later found the victim after several witnesses also reported seeing a nude female crying and screaming. It then says that Gassig returns to the scene of the crime later and scoops up her clothes, I guess trying to hide the evidence. But like I said, it took a little while for them to actually get him. 2 years for police to arrest, charge him with sexual battery, false imprisonment, and evidence tampering. He was supposed to get up to 25 years, but because he pleaded guilty, he got a 10-year sentence, 5 years probation. Where they do that at? Oh, they do that here. They do that here in America. And check this though. Do y'all know how many violent illegals are saying, I'm guilty of a crime. Keep me here in the state that I committed this crime. Don't send me back to wherever the fuck. That's insane, right? Like to go out of your way, commit some crime, and then know that there are people here who, they got to meet their quota. They have to ensure that a certain amount of bodies get placed in positions of workforce labor that they don't have to pay a lot of money or any money at all. And you get 3 hots and a cot. And if your homies are in there with you, then I guess you chilling for 10 years, do a little bit of work, get a little bit of workout. You might can schedule you some conjugal visits. What? Get one of these pen pal females who are desperate and lonely to come through and do some things. And I know some of y'all actually just go for the easy meat, right? The one that's right there throwing it at you. But let's just say that you don't go gay in jail. That seems to be an easy bid versus getting kicked out of the country for good. I'm so mad at myself. I should have had Umar. Yeah, you get kicked out. You get kicked back to the country you fled, and then the people you were fleeing from find out, and then maybe you don't make it past go again. I don't know, but I'm sorry. I appreciate y'all's guesses in the chat. Cannibalism. Look, first to let a rhyme flow. This is why you just be having some moments sometimes. More moments than you need to be having. But he do look like he was eating somebody. He does. He does. I'm sorry. He does. He wasn't though, but still. How you save somebody from a rape and then rape them? Okay. He said he was a genius though. Check this though. Bonus time. Which state has the highest population of undocumented people? And I know you're going to tell me that that's a trick question, because if they're undocumented, how we going to know? I know. It's okay. It's okay. Calm down. It's okay. It's just a bonus question, right? It's just a bonus. Don't get your panties in a bunch. While you think about it, the other bonus question for tonight is, who are the most violent people in America? If you listen to me and Clyde on Wednesdays, me and Dr. Winters on Wednesdays, you might have heard how people always use Chicago as the most dangerous place in America. And then there's a lot of niggas in Chicago, right? So we're talking about like per capita crime, right? Then there's that. But here's this.
Yes. Where is?
Watching this back,
It was gross.
but without it, Lauren Christensen wouldn't have known.
I was embarrassed. I thought, I shouldn't have gotten that drunk. It's my fault.
After a night out with coworkers in April of 2022, her friend called her a lift home because she was too drunk to drive. She wouldn't see this until the next morning. We've blurred his face because he has not been arrested. The man who drove her home, groping her chest as he walks her to the front door.
Because I kept asking him, who do you drive? Like, who do you work for? And he was just so adamant that he worked for himself. And then when he finally did say Lyft, it was aggressively and like out of frustration. Like, shut up.
Lyft. Yes.
If he'd gotten in my house, I can't imagine.
A neighbor came out that night to check on Christensen. She says he would eventually tell that man he should leave.
Oh my God, I'm so lucky. Thank God for my neighbor. I could be dead.
Thank God for her neighbor. Look, what if her neighbor was like the gossip dude that I just showed you? He saved her from from an assault to assault her. Maybe the neighbor knew that she had a Ring app cam or something. I don't know. Some people, just because they do something good does not mean that they're a good person. So, lady, you're never going to see this show. But if you do see this show, just know you got to be careful with everybody. Everybody that is not your family, honestly. Because if they're not your family, then they might have something against you. I started tonight letting you know that I love it here. I love the time that I get to spend with my family out in the world, and we get to watch and look and observe. And there's a lot of people here. A lot. And no, not like Chicago where it's niggas on niggas on niggas. No. But here in well, the first place that they decided to call theirs, the lovely state of Virginia, of course. It's a lot of people who's not supposed to be here, and you can see it like straight in their face. You can look at the person and just be a bigot. I'ma allow it tonight. You can look at them in their face and say, yeah, that person probably doesn't speak English. And see, I said probably. I'm still giving you an out because 9 times out of 9, they don't speak English when it matters. And then there's some people who speak English real good, but they still don't speak English when it matters. Moving right along, this woman who was all sorts of messed up, who was in a car that she said she didn't know who the driver was working for, kind of sounds like that first situation, not the Walmart shooting, but the first driver that I was telling you about. If you don't know the driver, then why are you getting in the car? How do you do that? I think every single time that I get into a ride share, I guess I at least make sure that they trying to pick me up. I don't know, because then you've got Pastor Mendoza who was using an app, and if they had asked who he was there for, he might have passed the test. So it's like, what do you do? Well, I guess what you do, first to let a rhyme flow, you're not wrong. I just hate that you just be so wrong some other times. But you don't get drunk like that in public. You're absolutely right. Especially if you got to take an Uber home. I mean, that's just like common sense 101. Your daddy would have taught you that. But, on your screen, a lot of y'all stereotypically think these people have 2-parent homes and they come from people that make sense. And a lot of times it's a lot of chaos going on over there. A lot of substance abuse and things that y'all stereotypically say happen with us. But no, at least our crash outs don't look like this. Or, I don't know, I guess pissy drunk Black girls be in groups and pissy drunk white women go home in Ubers by themselves and get assaulted on their Ring cams. I don't know. I'm sorry. But yes, first to let a rhyme flow, I would agree. Maybe that's the first thing you don't do. You don't get drunk like that and then have to rely on strangers to get you home. Right? Outside of that, I don't know, maybe if you gotta go out, maybe you go in a group. Remember, we learned about stranger danger. We learned about Chester the molester. We got songs for everything, and then people are not using these songs that you had to learn in school. She could be dead right now. Real talk.
Be dead.
The next day, she filed a police report and also had the incident reported to Lyft, asking for the driver's license plate information for the report. Lyft did not give that information, but sent a link to steps to take to request data from the company, writing the matter was investigated and that the $8.69 were refunded for the ride. In a statement, Lyft told WFAA as soon as the company was aware of the incident, it deactivated the driver and is ready to assist law enforcement in any investigation. Christensen's attorney, Brooke Cohen, plans to file a suit against Lyft in this case this month.
Unfortunately, it happens all the time.
Cohen's firm alone currently represents more than 100 people suing rideshare companies for similar incidents.
What we hope to do is have cameras in all the cars where at least there's some sort of deterrent.
In Dallas, I'm Morgan Young.
That would be nice, right? The cameras and the cars being a deterrent. But then, I don't know, you've got people who are recording police brutality and those cameras don't matter. I mean, the police are recording. Sorry about that. Another police arrest was playing in the background. Unrelated. Anyway, police brutality gets recorded by the police is doing the brutalizing. The police doing the things are recording themselves doing the things. And they can have a mic malfunction, so you can't hear them calling the quote suspect who ends up being the victim and not perp at all. You know, just somebody's grandma, grandpa, auntie, uncle, cousin, child, mommy, or daddy just happened to be there. And that suspected race soldier, white supremacist, overly zealous, confused individual, you know, they record themselves doing these things, and then it's like, well, shit, if the cameras aren't going to make a difference, then why do we have the cameras? It is the illusion of inclusion for me. All of it is by design. Our late great master teacher, Mr. Nelly Fuller, I think that is his life's mission, was to let everybody know you don't know what the fuck is going on unless you accept this one thing. And that's all of this is by design. And then, yeah, it's across environments. And yeah, it's a bunch of environments. And yeah, it overlaps. And oh yeah, there's going to be a lot of people out here letting you know that they got it. And they're going to be dead wrong. You know, first to let a rhyme flow, I've been talking to you a lot because you've been talking very nasty in my chat, and I don't really want to block you, but, you know, you're saying you don't take piss heads seriously, and I don't know if you're talking to the supportive foundational Black American men in my chat, or if you're talking about the people who are committing these heinous crimes in America, but you would have to take either of those groups seriously if you're here in America. And if you're not in America, then why are you so loud? Right? Let's get back to my trivia game because it's almost time for me to go night-night. Did you guess which state has the most undocumented people? If you guessed California, I guess you'd be right. You would be absolutely right. It is California. I guess I stereotypically thought California before I did a little research about it. Going through the chat, looks like y'all said New York or Texas. Texas is definitely right after California. 1.6 million undocumented immigrants is what it said in the quick little research that I did. I just want to know how you know it's that many when they are Chemistry, you said New York or Texas. I'm sorry. Both of y'all are typing in all caps. And that was throwing me off. But you don't have that lady in your screen, so let's just throw you on the screen. So my bad on that. But yeah, Texas was number 1 after California with 1.6. Again, they are undocumented, so literally having 1.6 million on paper means that you documented somebody, right? After that, you got Florida, then New York, number 3. So chemistry, good job. You got 2 of the 5 top states with the highest number of people who are not supposed to be there. I wonder if you guys have an answer for my second question. Who are the most violent people in America? Let's see. I was going through the chat to see if y'all said anything. I don't think it did, but I don't want to miss anything, and I don't want to give somebody credit for something that they didn't do. Okie dokie. All right, all the way free chemistry. White people, Neanderthals, I feel you. And stereotypically, I would agree with you, right? But I'm going to have to tell you that you're wrong tonight, because the most violent people in America are people who are not supposed to be in America. They could be white. They could be black. But the thing that they got in common is that they're not supposed to be here. And these people will do anything. I mean, anything. I know we didn't talk about cannibalism tonight, but I'm not going to put it past them. If that's how they got to get rid of the body, and they come from a place where they're eating monkey meat with faces and teethuses, and maybe you do that. Maybe you do that. Oh, gross. Ew. I just grossed myself out thinking about the cannibalism aspect of a fleer, a person who would flee versus fight that good fight. You know, just get some pride about yourself. You know, if you're gonna be in America, some things are just gonna have to be. If you're proud to be an American, then you would do the American thing. You would pull up them panty drawers and tie up them bootstraps and get to work. But it's not work over here. No, we're good. We don't need the help. But that place you came from, that shithole that President Trump would like you to never go back to, that place needs some love. That place needs some attention. So there's no need to be violent over here with people who aren't in your way as much as you came to take something from them. And by any means necessary, you took our ancestor, you took his words and you bastardized them. Shame on you. But unlearn, relearn, right? We're human. We can do better. And if you get the benefit and the beauty of being able to go to bed tonight and wake up tomorrow, then you too can do it better tomorrow. Till next time.
Just eat.